Yeah, there we go. Gunsinthe701.com. We are back and we are here for our Wednesday show. And I hope everything's going well. And it looks like we're on CommieTube as well. Apparently, Clay got it all fixed from last week. So we're all good to go. Vance, how are you?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Gene.
Vance.
Gene Cox, I believe the mayor of Mobridge.
Yes, that is true.
And I know that you had just got done from a meeting there, so that's right. My wife is running for city council. Do you have any advice for somebody new running for city council in your town?
No.
No, okay, I'm probably going to be different from Vance, but I kind of think those are the jobs that people need to be lined up around the corner to get into.
Yep, we have a lot of people that will complain, but they don't jump to take the jobs. That's right.
Yeah, dive in, and if my wife's listening, I always tell this story, and she'll deny it and gets mad at me, but it's my story. How I got involved in local government, I was complaining about something at home one day, and she said either run for office or shut up about it.
And you're not good at shutting up.
No, I think she thought I was supposed to shut up, and now here I am. Next month I'll start my 4th term as mayor. And before that I was a councilman for I think 11 years. So
right.
It's a lot of learning. It's going to be a big learning curve, and should your wife get elected and then successful, it's probably going to take her about a year or two to learn the job.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, she's been immersed in all the watching the back channels of all the show. I mean, the meetings over the last couple of years, and seeing how everything runs and whatnot. But yeah, you're right. It's a learning curve once you get in there. I guess that's the main thing. But yeah, everybody wants to complain about it, but it's good that we have people actually stepping up. I got to say hello out there to Brian. Brian is there with us. Eric Newman is here with us as well. Waylon making an appearance. We're good to see you there, Waylon, and everybody else. One Shop Cap as well. Tuning in. Hey, today Clay is out. Actually, he's already done 7 calves today, and he's working on another. So he might be back in the show here in a little bit. We are going to be talking to Gene about classic guns, old style rounds, and saving old guns from the scrap pile. I thought that would be a good thing to talk about today with Gene because, I see those pictures from Australia when they confiscated all the guns down there and scrapped it all. And it's like if you ever have a personal horror story in your mind, that's the picture that I see right there, because it's just ridiculous. As a matter of fact, we were seeing that New Zealand, who has done their gun confiscation thing started up. Crime's gone up 33%. So since they started that, and it's just going to get worse. And that's because people aren't going to give them up. And that's just the way it is. I mean, and especially people aren't going to give them up. And the people that do are now unprotected from the criminal elements. And even in us.
Exactly. And they created a black market.
Right. And we've said that before. A black market will happen from that every single time. So, yeah. Of course, we got to say that, we're on the Rumble. We're also on Facist-book, Facebook, and CommieTube as well. And we're actually on there. I just tuned in and saw this pop up there. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll wait and see. And we've got a lot going on tonight. We've also got an episode of Badass of the Week coming up. We're going to be talking about Charles French, a great World War II hero. Unsung hero, as a matter of fact, and we'll have a segment on that. Start off with the show, Gene. When I think of classic guns, I grew up inside cities, so I remember when there were 25s and 32s floating around everywhere, and they were always the go-to gun to get. But nowadays, I never see, except for gun shows, I never see 32 rounds. I never see any of the smaller caliber rounds. But do you think besides a collector's value, do you think they're even something to keep nowadays, or just out of nostalgia?
I guess I got to clarify. Rifle calibers or pistol calibers? I'm sorry, pistol. Handgun calibers. They're always going to be there. You can go buy manufactured ammunition for 32 or 25.
Right.
Just don't spaz out when you see the price.
Right.
When you see... Oh, crap. And I've got ammo for it. It's buried when I had my gun shop. But Federal tried to bring out that 327 Federal Magnum.
Right.
And they touted that as a self-defense, stuff like that, which I believe was the Magnum version of the 32 H&R, which was the Magnum version of I think the 32 Smith & Wesson. I'm not sure.
Right.
So they always try to kind of drag it back out, but it just never quite seems to catch on for whatever reason. So,
well, and I love the old style, the old what do they call Vance? What do they call the old like little 32s and whatnot? I mean, they were more like your
Derringer. The
no,
Derringers?
the actual like revolvers, but I would consider them more of a pocket gun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they really were.
I was thinking Derringer. I have a 32 Derringer, a Davis 32 two-shot. In fact, I bought ammo from Gene quite a few years ago at his gun shop for that. And I bought the Derringer from Wayland Little Eagle, who is on here, I believe. And I still have some of that ammo right over there that I bought from Gene. I know what you're talking about, the little revolvers, but I can't think of what
I've heard Saturday Night Specials.
Right.
The 38.
Knuckle busters.
Yeah, those.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things with me is that I always end up finding these old German pistols from like the 20s and 30s that are not exactly shooting ready. I can get them pretty cheap from the gun shows, and then I try to find a couple of guys around here that still work on stuff and get them going. And usually getting parts is always the difficult thing, and usually you got to hodge one to get another one working. But I think it's like a nostalgia thing. I mean, we've all got classic, $100 or $300, $400, $500, $1,000 rifles and stuff that we've collected over the years, and we love them. We keep them. We know they're special and whatnot. And the Montana rifles, like we had at the NRA shows years ago. Remember those things? Those things are beautiful, and I still want one of those. But I think that sometimes some of the old guns that you used to see filtering around are kind of gone away, and some of the different calibers as well. And Gene, you could probably tune into that. You've probably seen a lot of guys and girls coming in to your shop back in the day with some oddball calibers and whatnot that were some classic guns.
Yeah, that's what we figured out was our seller. You'll never compete with a Walmart or Runnings or a big store like that on 30-06, 270. But if you've got that box of 303 British, that box of 32 Smith & Wesson, 3040 Krag, 8 Mauser, we made our money when we sold ammunition. We made money on that stuff. Caveat, and maybe some other gun show people or gun people can reaffirm this, but a small gun shop selling regular ammunition is like a gas station selling gas today.
Right.
They don't make a lot of money on that, but they get you on the other stuff, So that's where we found our niche. But yeah, I saw quite a bit of that stuff, and those things have a big following out there.
Yeah, it's kind of nostalgia too. I mean, I've got a lot of friends here, Q Jewelry here in town. Quincy, a friend of mine, he actually does some engraving. He's got some engraving machines he picked up over the years, and stuff that he's working on guns right now for me. So he's kind of just doing some little scrolling here and there, and nothing as much as good as like AA out of Rapid City or something like that. But just stuff to give something a little flavor. And I was thinking about getting something like that for my daughter. She's out in Virginia now, and she definitely needs a little more protection than what she's got. But it's just one of those things where I don't feel like I'm losing out. I'm not marking it up and everything. So I just think they're a classier guns than and they're not super powerful. And I think that's one of the things about my daughter is that she's always been a shooter and she's done all that stuff. But she's just a little girl, so she doesn't want to have a huge something powerful, but something she can protect herself with. So that's why I've always liked those older pistols. But they might be on the way out.
There's something to be said about the simplicity of the older guns. Next to we believe it or not, we each have a gun on our nightstands. My wife and I. My wife's is a Charter Arms 38. It's a very simple, low budget gun, but it's a very reliable gun. I know when she pulls that trigger, it's going to go off. And I have a 40 Smith & Wesson next to my bed. I like the simplicity of the older guns. One of my favorite guns to shoot is a 30-30.
Right.
I grew up shooting it, down growing up shooting hogs in Florida. We didn't shoot real long distance. So that 30-30 was just the world to all of us kids back then. And even today, I've been blessed to have, I've got some nice guns. And it's funny, I've shot with both you guys at the NRA events and stuff. And we'll get out there. I remember one we did in McIntosh at the NRA. I don't know what Clay called it. It was when we got together for the budget meetings. And then
up in Watauga.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would go out there and we would have 20 pickup trucks, probably 200 guns, tailgates full of the fanciest firearms around, from 50 BMGs, Barretts, and all that stuff. And then once, the ego contest was over, we broke out the 22s and the older guns and had a lot of fun.
And that's like where I was saying, that's where I blew most of my 8mm Mauser that I was asking. Gene's got some of those as well. And I got some from Double H Guns. Yeah, I love there you go. So, I love the Mauser. And my dad got me a Mauser from a local place here in town when he was still with us. And it was pretty beat up. I had the stock all dyed and everything, so it's like an olive green now, black barrel, and I love that thing, and it just shoots so well. But yeah, I was out of ammo for the longest time, and you remember that an unloaded gun is an expensive club. So but Gene, what's one of your favorites on the to go to for, say, more of the classic styles that's not one of the calibers or whatnot that like either for hunting or for protection?
Well, are we back to rifle or handgun, or either one?
We'll go rifle this time.
Okay, I was going to say, you're way out there.
I've been told that before.
The initial answer is it depends, because I have no idea really what I want to take until I go get closer to deer season. This rifle I just showed you, that 8 Mauser, I've shot deer with it for fun. I've got another one here. I brought a few of them out. Figure I can bring them as we look. Last year I started hunting with a 40. Oh, sorry, JD. I started hunting with a 41 Magnum lever action from Henry.
Right.
Just because. I loaded up some bullets for it, went and tried it out. I've shot a deer with that. I've got a 41 Magnum handgun. Looks like Dirty Harry. It's the same. It's the model 58, which Dirty Harry used the model 29, which is 44 Magnum. Looks the same. Shot a deer with that. Because I've shot deer with 30-06, 7 mags, 41 Magnums, stuff like that. So 303 British, so.
And that's something that I've always
gun.
Wanted to get into when you go out to gun shows and this and that, and you see those old infield rifles and whatnot, and you just want them because they're just so classy.
Yep.
And so it's always one of those things I want to pull the trigger on and buy. But like I said, but there are guys that still make the ammo out there. There are some guys that you can get the ammo from. So you're right. The big box stores don't make any money off of that stuff. But there are people out there that once you make the contact with them, it's good to know them. And it's kind of like you. It's good to know you, that I know that 8mm and others that I can contact you now. Vance was talking about the 30-30, and I always talk about how it depends on where you're going hunting. 243 usually works for me, most of the plains, but once I get out into the hills and whatnot with all the trees and everything, I don't want to scope. I usually go for a 30-30 with iron sights, and that's usually how I like to go. And I hit so much better because I instinctively, around all the woods, pull up that scope into my eye, and next thing I know, I'm looking through the trees and I can't find anything, and then the deer is right in front of me.
Right.
So the 30-30 has always worked out for me. And we've been talking the last couple of months about how the 30-30s and the lever actions are all making a big comeback because of the new innovations they've got on it. So it's actually pretty cool. So I kind of like having that old school shooting instead of instead of I don't know. I'd like to be a Buckmeyer. I would. I'd love to, win the lottery and just get, some titanium rifles and whatnot. It's good to have the extra $300 into it and have a gun that's much lighter. I mean, he was talking about that on Jamie's show last week, and yeah, it totally makes sense to me. As I get older, you try to trim any weight where you can, and not dropping your gun down from 16 pounds to 12 pounds makes a difference. Carrying up there.
Yeah, that's a big difference. I noticed, when I hunted up there, when I was up that way, I did a lot of walking, a lot of spot and stalk, and you're going up the hills and down in draws, and it's an exercise. And with that extra weight on your back, it's tiring.
Mm-hmm.
So I mostly carried synthetic guns up there because it was quite a bit lighter. Down here, I'll take a wood gun because I'm walking to the stand or walking to the blind, and I'm not going to be carrying it for very long. And the 30-30 is one I really got back to when I came down here because I don't do much long range shooting at all. I mean, 100 yards is a fairly long shot here, and you can do that with a 30-30 real easy. In fact, I carried it a couple times this past hunting season. It just so happened the deer that I killed this year, I happened to have an AR with me. Again, short range because I only had a red dot on the AR. But I do like the older guns, and I'm a revolver guy too because I like the older classics.
And Clay always kicks me in the butt on that when I remind him that I sold my my Ruger Vaqueros because I kicked myself in the butt too because I never should have sold them. They were the old styles. They could handle a heavier load, and they were just the best darn guns in the world. And I love wheel guns. I'm just a wheel gun guy, and I think that's because I'm much more confident with them. And that's the way you should be with anything you carry. But it's just one of the things I love the Vaqueros, and they've got some stuff coming out like Heritage has been coming out with different style stuff right now. That's always affordable. But and what's some of the other off brands of Ruger? I want to think not Chippewa. I'm thinking of something else. They sell with those types of cowboy guns.
What's that one that? Chip Hetty or something.
I'm probably a little bit out of rotation, but Rossi was putting out quite a bit of them in the 92 style action. I know Rossi there was one called Puma out for a while.
Yeah.
I've got one. JD says I can't show it. I brought it down to showcase, but it's the one I shoot in competitions. It's a model 94.
Right.
And that was in 1894, that is. I mean, that was the most technologically advanced firearm in the world,
Right.
So
and one of the things, I mean, you talk about, cowboy guns are great, but remember when Cowboy Fast Draw was at its height around the areas, and what's the other thing where they do it off the horses and whatnot?
The mounted shooting.
I mean, it's great to watch. It's great to do. Love that stuff. I mean, I did cowboy shooting for about 4 or 5 years and loved it. But I think you could find a lot more then. But now I think it's kind of calmed down a little bit as far as how many people are in it. It was nice because they were making guns of different sizes for revolvers and whatnot that for different people, and for a lot of women were getting into the sport as well. And so the guns that were easier for people to hold. And we just don't see a lot of that right now. We've gone back to more of the 1911 and the I guess you say Smith & Wesson's 9s and 40s and whatnot. But we got a few guys talking to us. JD's here with us, of course. We got him, and we're going to be talking about his show coming up this Friday. He's going to be doing the 701 Nation. He's got Drinks with Friends coming up, and we're hoping to join him on that. Lynette, she's on there as well. Let me see if she's got there. She's watching on the backup stream for today. Well, I think the regular stream's working, but if it's not, then the backup stream works just as well. We've got this one here for Eugene from Sarah Cox. Tell Gene his daughter, me, shoots better than him.
She's been known to surprise me on occasion. I guess my question back to her is who loads all the bullets that you shoot? So
that's a good one. I like that.
I think something that a lot of people with older guns a lot of older guns are not as accurate as today's modern firearms. But in some cases, I know the British 303 is an exceptionally, at least to my experience, and Gene's probably very familiar with them. That thing is an accurate gun. That is a
gun. They are. But the other thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind, I'm gonna flash back to gun shop, era. Guys would come in, the 9130s, the Mosin Nagants, any of those old rifles. One of the questions I'd always get is, well, how accurate is it?
Oh, well.
It's a weapon that was issued to
how good of a
soldiers. This isn't brand new, so it might shoot clover leaves, it might shoot 8 inches.
But those things majority wise were made in a hastily in a wartime era, and they're not those precision things that you normally think of. But I think when you get those, you've got to learn how to be more intuitive with your shooting and learn the gun, because the gun once you shoot it enough, you'll learn the feeling that it takes to get a good shot going. Some guns are just weird that way.
The other thing to remember about military rifles with military sights, 303 British, 8 Mausers, anything with that fixed type sight, the countries that commission those, they wanted a certain weight bullet at a certain velocity. So that's what those sights are put on there for, is to make sure that weighted bullet at that velocity hits that 8-inch plate at 100 yards.
Right.
You start buying, let's pick on 303 British, 174 grain at 2,300 feet per second. Well, you go buy Hornady's new deer round, it's 150 grain at probably 2,800 feet per second. So you're going to have a different point of impact. So that's key.
Yeah, we see here we've got One Shot Cap's got on here. He's got a good one. He's talking about his uncle brought back from Germany some Luger pistols, and the MP38 I'm not familiar with from Europe, but I know those Lugers as a kid. That was always one of those cool ones that you always wanted because it was just so different. Correct
me if I'm wrong, but that's what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. What's the MP38? Do you know that one?
That's that German Luger. I know what he's talking about. Any German officer probably had that.
Right.
Actually, Ruger pirated that design in their Mark III pistol. Those 22 pistols, those Ruger pistols. Right. So.
Oh yeah, well that would make sense. It looks exactly the same. One of the things I've been carrying for years, and it is the worst gun to reload, is the Mosin Nagant revolver. I've been shooting one of those. I've been carrying them because it's got a great bullet, and it's actually very quiet and everything else. But I can see why the 1911 beat it out, because I'm trying to reload that thing. Is you might as well just call it a night. So it's always bad. But yeah.
You got to seat that bullet down inside the case.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's kind of a pain as far as loading. I never thought it was a brilliant design on that part, but I love shooting the gun itself, and it's just such a weird design to the bullet as well. It's all inset. The bullet itself is insetted into the case, and so it's just kind of a cool thing. What we got down here? We got big auction in Mandan last Saturday. There was more Savage Model 99 lever actions there than they've ever seen in one spot. That came from Brian Warner, and they come out on the market. And Savage is it's always pretty good for getting anything on the starter levels and whatnot. And we were talking, I think, like I said, on 701 Nation, they were talking about Savage and how you can get your custom guns from Savage. And really precise shooting stuff. But, I'm never going to be one of those above 300-yard range shooters. I've gotten lucky once on a deer, and it looked good that I hit him and knocked him down and everything. But it's just not my thing. I guess I don't have the eyesight, or I just can't. I'm just not that built that way. But that's why I like, 243 always works for me.
What was that long shot, Mike?
It was close to about 400. I was on the other side of a prairie town, and it was inside a canyon, and there just wasn't any wind, and I just got lucky and took a great deer that turned out to have one broken antler. So I only have one on one side. So yeah, but he was standing broadside, and I could see the real nice side. So. That's how it worked out.
First thing you have to do is practice
right.
some more, You know, it's kind of like, you know, I went down to Phoenix, and my daughters and I, they've both been with me, well, my two youngest daughters. Anyway, the whole point is, while I'm down there shooting at a 200-yard target with a lever action, and I forget what they call it, but it's a 1,000-yard competition. Those guys look like race car drivers with all their sponsors, and you know, but that takes a lot of practice. And you know, whether you're trying to hit a target at 200 yards or 1,000 yards, you got to practice within that discipline.
Right. Yeah. Clay and Waylon and I went to a long-range shooting clinic. Oh, it's probably been 10 years now, or more, at Lucid Optics in Wyoming. And we went out there, you know, being avid shooters. We've shot some distance. We thought, you know, we know our stuff. Man, that opened up a whole new world to us. And, you know, Clay and Waylon, I put them far above my abilities and knowledge in that area. But it opened up a whole new world to them. Well, I mean, we came out of there educated. That was just something completely different.
Well, you know, yeah, that's the thing. Is the guys like Gene, guys like Bachmeyer and all that. I mean, I listen to those guys. I mean, you know, a lot, because they know that type of stuff that I can learn from. And, you know, I may be an old dude, but I can still learn. So it's just one of those things you have to do, especially if you want to keep doing it and keep doing it for a long time. I mean, it's just important to do. And you're right, Gene, on the fact, shoot, and shoot. Just keep practicing. You know, you've got to, like you said, you've got to get acclimated with the guns that you have, and learn the idiosyncrasies of them. Sometimes the guns can be that way, and you've got to. I think from one of our last banquets we did, Vance, I got a Remington 308, and it's got that bottom-fed magazine in it, and that magazine just keeps jamming on me all the time. And you know, it's one of those things where it's like you want to shoot this gun more often, and I've gotten other magazines for it. I keep having that problem. I should send it back to Remington. I really should.
Have you shot it often? Can the spring be too tight?
You know, that could be it. Maybe I am just doing it seasonally. Maybe I need to do it more often and just take it out to the range and just go. So you might be right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break real quick for some of our sponsors. We've got, of course, LAUER Auto and, of course, Axel and the gang. We also got our friends at Double H Guns out there as well. We're going to take a quick break. I'm trying to work on these new intros to the intros and outros for the commercials. So let me see if this works for us real quick.
I'm with the Port Commission.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Hey, everybody, and we're back for GunsInThe701.com with our guest, Gene Cox, and also we've got Vance, and back from the barn, we finally got Clay.
I made it back, guys. Glad to see you all on. I tell you what, it's been a busy day around here. So
I understand. What are you up to? Eight calves today or something like that? Or 9?
Yeah, we ended up with 8 total. Yeah. That's a good day. I mean, that's a good day for anybody, but that makes it go fast. So, yeah, I'm happy. We saved everything. Everything's going well. So
good deal. Gene, we got a question for you.
Okay.
Axel's asking. What's your take on the reproduction Cimarron and Uberti firearms?
Cimarron, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Cimarron. Yeah, Cimarron, I believe, is Uberti, or Uberti is Cimarron.
Right.
Okay.
Since JD got onto us, it's one of the ones I had down here. I've got it. I've got it sitting next to me, but it's the 1894. I bought it in 3855. It's a replica, and that's what I take to competitions. I love it. It shoots just fine. Took me a while, like we were talking earlier, it took me a while to practice with it and to get that right bullet powder combination. So, you know, a lot of mad scientist experimenting. And I will tell you this, if anyone gets into a 3855, go to a bait shop, buy yourself a 3/4 ounce lead sinker that's shaped like a football and pound it down the bore and mic that bore. I don't know why it is on a 3855. My spec sheet said 375 was the diameter. Come to find out, my bore diameter was 378, 379. So I had to special order a 380 bullet to fit in the barrel. So my first couple of rounds at reloading, 200 yards, I was like, I am not pulling it that bad. I do not suck that bad. Called a guy in Montana to order them. If I, you know, Rimrock Bullets was a company. And first thing that guy told me was, he goes, go slug that bore. He said, because before you start bad mouthing my bullets, you better find out the bore size.
There you go. There you go.
So
man knows his product.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and that's what I've been ordering. I order a lot of my cast bullets from that guy, and they shoot fine. So they shoot better than I can.
No.
I just want to give a shout out to everybody over on Rumble. I see we got Dave over there and Pat, some others. Yeah, thanks for chiming in over there, guys.
We got Eric Newman asked a good question.
Over there.
I never heard of D-Max, another gun company that used to make revolvers. They're not a company anymore. Made in Springfield. He had a 454. So D-Max, I never heard of that one.
I've heard of the 454, and you know, to that comment, I would say they make human-sized calibers. You know.
That's a man gun right there.
That's a man gun right there.
If you're going to go hunt Godzilla or freight trains, you just go ahead and get that one.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Clay, we've been hitting Gene with questions left and right about old guns. We're talking about old stuff and whatnot. What do you got to talk about on some older stuff?
Well, I know Gene's a lot. He likes them old military matches. And of course, I recently here, well, I guess not recently, it's been about 3 years or so. I now have my M1 Grand, which I love to shoot it. Waylon always tells me I should put it away and collect it because it's too nice to be shooting, but I got to shoot that gun. I don't know. It is. I really like it. I'm still getting familiar with it, but I've had some fun on steel with it. What do you think, Gene, of those? I mean, I think they're an iconic gun, and they're a weapon of war, so that even makes it better.
Oh, the M1s. I've got a story about that. I lived out in Colorado and from 95 to 2000. So I bought an M1 Garand or Garand, however you want to say. I bought it at a gun show in Denver. And I rode down to this gun show on a motorcycle. I ride a motor. I did ride a motorcycle. So then you got
married, right?
I got married. Yes. So I I'm riding on Interstate 76 out of Denver with an M1 slung over my back on a motorcycle. Confession time. Mike, I think you can understand here. Had it for a while, shot it for a while. I liked it, enjoyed it, traded it off.
Yeah, and regretted it ever since. I know.
Yes. Traded it off, but the beauty of the trade, I traded it for a Marlin 357 lever gun. Mm-hmm. And at the time, M1s weren't the price they are today.
Right.
Now fast forward, if you go look on my Facebook page, further back around February, you'll see my daughter shooting that rifle and actually shooting it well. So for me, that payoff trade is good. My kids are shooting that.
Right.
And they enjoy shooting it versus a 30-06 or an M1 or something.
Well, I've told the story a couple of times to the guys about Boyd's Gunstock. Dustin and Amanda, who bought that a few years ago, went out and bought from one of the original companies that used to make the stocks for the Garands, and they bought up all the machines that make and lathe out the stocks for them. So you can get from the original equipment new stock make. So if you find a Garand that's in terrible shape, but the receiver and the barrel and all that stuff isn't good, but maybe the stock is just crap, or buy it in pieces, you can actually get a brand new, stock done, Boyd's gun stock, for the Garands, which I've thought about, because that's a cheaper way to go about, because they have gotten pretty spendy. So it's a way to go around and then try to find the pieces and then take it to them. So I've always thought that's a good idea, and it's good because it saves guns. It takes some great guns that are out there, and it saves them just because the wood's gone to hell or whatever else. But yeah, it's pretty good. So what do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. If you take one, fix it up. You're right. They're kind of spendy. I got a pretty good deal on mine. Do you guys remember Davis? Used to help us out there in Rapid City all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a friend of his, had it for sale. I mean, I got all the gear. I got the belt with it. I got a bunch of actual real clips, guys, not magazines, real clips. Everybody wants to know the difference. And I even got a bunch of civilian marksmanship. The program, basically a lot of those loads that came right out of Lake City, original 30-06. So I got a really good deal on it, and I'm glad I got it. It's not a number one per se, but it darn near is. Just about everything matches on it, which is very hard to find nowadays. Very hard.
The best part of the M1, as we all know, is the ting at the end of the ting.
The Japanese liked it too.
I had that as my, and I think Clay did. One of y'all had that as my text message indicator at one time. The ting from
That'd be Clay, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love sitting with Clay and having dinner somewhere, and all of a sudden, ting.
You got to be going through TSA checkpoints. Bismarck got used to it, but when I'd come through Dulles out there in DC or someplace else, it was funny when someone would call my phone and that thing would be going through their detector in a little tray. That was great.
Dulles, you mean Trump International Airport?
Yeah.
I was in a meeting once, and there was probably 12 people in there, and everybody had their phones on the conference table and stuff. And my phone started going off, and it was bah, 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 bah. Nobody had to look around and see whose phones it was. They all pointed, that's Vance.
Hey, Lynette has a question for you, Gene. She asked, Gene, how long ago was it that do you think that you could do that today in Colorado? So how long was it?
That was probably in 97, 98.
Okay.
Bought it from the Tanner. It was at the Tanner Gun Show. I was even kind of worried then coming out of Denver because, I lived up in by Greeley, which that was still farm community. Believe it or not, Colorado was a red state then.
Yeah. But
even parts of Denver, Boulder were kind of, turning blue. But I don't know if I could do it now or not. I don't know if I'd want to be on the interstate on a motorcycle, to be honest with you,
Especially out there, yeah. Hey, Mike.
Far more dangerous than a gun.
Pat over there in Rumble, he says, I think the term Mike was looking for earlier is called a mouse gun, commonly referred to as a pocket pistol. So
yeah, pocket pistol, mouse gun, yeah.
Rumble.
That sounds right.
Yeah, love those things. And you know what? You can still find them, but they tend not to be, the firing pins are bad or whatever, and finding the stuff. And you either got to find somebody who can make the stuff, or you got to find somebody who, order it and from overseas in parts, and this and that. And that's fine. But I still love having those types of things that just, and yeah, they aren't the man stoppers that, we've got today, but I still like them. I still think they're great. And,
But I've never been in a situation where I've had one pointed at me or pointed at one, but a guy told me one time, he said, if you're looking down the barrel, you really can't tell if it's a 22 or a 44.
It doesn't much matter, does it? Mike, I do a lot. Like, remember I forget his name. He used to be the sheriff down there in your county that helped out with the NRA banquet.
Oh, Dave Miles.
Yeah, David. And David always carried the same thing I'm carrying. I think it was the same thing, the North American Arms 22 mag revolver. Right. I carry that a lot, probably more than anything. I carry my other ones. What's that?
Chris carries Chris Hawk carries the same thing.
I mean, I can tell you this: it'll do what you need it to do if you need to stop a threat. Now, will it kill somebody? I mean, it could, but it'll do the job if you need it. And it's very concealable. That's what I love about it. I can take it about anywhere, and nobody even cares that I have it in my Gerber pouch, so it's even better yet. They think it's a Gerber.
Well, when they were coming out with the Bel Air, remember the Bel Air Kimber and all that.
Yeah.
Those, and those are nice, and I like those. I do, but I still like a revolver, And so it's just one of those things I like. So yeah. Hey, we got some questions from some people. What we got here? We got Waylon is asking. Winnie 94 and a 3855 Crazy Horse barrel is a 379 bore to load. Now you're gonna have to translate that for me because that's Waylon speak right there.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know Waylon real well, that guy's knowledge of guns.
Oh my goodness.
He's an encyclopedia. Honestly, that guy's knowledge is just insane.
You want some quick history or technical data there? Okay, the Winchester 94 is a Crazy Horse. That's a commemorative.
Oh, okay.
Your 3855 was an original. Okay, I got to say this right. That is opposed to a 38 special. Okay, a 3855 is an actual almost 38 caliber bullet going down the barrel. Compared to a 38 special, where the 38 comes from, is the outside diameter of the case around the bullet.
Right.
So that's why 357 and 38 special are 35 calibers. So, but yeah, why the voodoo on the 3855? You know, what you talked about earlier on the slug that bore. Why that is, I don't know.
So another question comes in from Wayne Muth. Are you guys familiar with Silence Core out of Salt Lake City? I think probably everybody is, aren't they?
I'm not.
Silencer Company? I
No.
think that's what they call them. Yeah, they've been around for a while. In fact, I'm trying to remember if they didn't merge or if I'd have to honestly look into that, Wayne. I almost think that they actually merged with somebody, but I have to check on that. But they're kind of the competition to Brandon Maddox's suppressor company, I believe.
Right.
They're the two big ones in the United States.
And I will say, when you talk about silencers, suppressors, what are you going to call them? I don't own one, so I know absolutely nothing about them.
Right. And
I
I'm
call them
the
a
same way.
suppressor.
I have shot a few for some friends, and I see the benefits, and especially if prairie dog hunting and all the other stuff. I mean, just amazing that you don't have that noise as much as you normally have, even if you're wearing plugs in your ears. It's just amazing to have that just little poof, and just not deal with the large shot. It's just kind of cool. It is a little spendy, but we've talked about that. I mean, you save up and you spend it on. I guess I could buy less coffee out at the store and probably end up buying some nicer stuff at the gun shop.
Every hobby is spendy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So a follow up, Wayne. I did go check out something here. So they are out of West Valley City, Utah. Founded in 2008. Their first stuff came out in a 22. That's what they were using for 22s, the way it looks. The acquisition, it wasn't a merger. It was acquisition in 2011 of the South Carolina-based Southwestern Weaponry Research Manufacturing Company. So they acquired that, and that's what really put them out there. And then they kept growing and growing and growing here. They were also one of the founding members of the American Suppressor Association. So that's just a little bit of history. I just randomly just was able to quick look up. But they've been around. I knew that there was some kind of a business merger. Well, they actually acquired another, basically a manufacturing place, which I'm sure that's what helped them and helped them grow. So there, and they make good products. They really do. I don't have one of theirs. I run lane suppressors. I like lane suppressors out of the Black Hills there, and that's the ones I've been running. But I think I can't tell you, a suppressor. Yeah, there's differences, but really they all do the job. It's just what you want. And I recommend titanium. I'm telling you, it's worth the money, and it's worth to get rid of that extra weight. I know Jamie got asked about that last week when he was on with Scott and Jesse, but I'm a big titanium guy. I've had the steel, I've had the stainless steel, and I'm telling you, titanium is the way to go.
Well, when you're adding how many inches to the end of your barrel, you're adding a big change to the entire weapon. I mean, the whole balance of it. So the lighter that is, the better it's going to be for you to adjust than having something too much. There's a good
one. That also comes with, like I was saying earlier, when I hunted up there, and I would go out hiking for a long ways and up and down them hills and in draws and everything. The less weight you have on you, the whole lot better off you're going to be.
Yeah. And I can get rid of weight from my gear. Getting it off myself is a little harder. So
most of yours
I got to
is
take
back in
every
the pickup, Clay.
yeah.
The mobile hunting blind.
The mobile hunting blind. I'm sure you've heard that term, haven't you, Gene? You probably know Waylon. I think Waylon used that term. Yeah, mobile hunting blind. So, Corey asks, and his dad has a 3040 Craig, and my grandpa actually had one of these. But does anybody have any history on the 3040 Craig? And I imagine Gene has a little history on that.
Well, I saw the question pop up, so I'll turn to the Bible here. Let's see. It was the first smokeless rifle cartridge adopted by the Army. The Model 92 Krag Jorgensen chambered in a 3040 became standardized. Nobody knows what that is. That's what Teddy Roosevelt and them charged up San Juan Hill with.
Right. I knew that.
Was the 3040 Krags. Yeah, the Krag was originally a Norwegian design and featured an unusual side-loading magazine. So I knew that was a Norwegian, I think it's a Norwegian and Danish combination. And the U.S. Army replaced that, the 4570 with that. And one of the things they liked about it was the soldier had to load each round individually because they wanted him to be good marksmen.
Right.
Well,
the shooting.
At San Juan Hill, they faced off the Spanish, and the Spanish had Mausers like the one I just showed you, and could be loaded with stripper clips. And yeah, it was
a little bit of an advantage, huh?
Yeah, look, they could put out more firepower with a bolt action rifle. What a concept, So,
amazing, right?
Amazing how that works.
So shortly after that, it didn't take the U.S. Army long to say, you know what, we need something else.
Need to change direction. Yeah.
Which was the 1903 Springfield, in case anybody cares. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I bet it was the Springfield, wasn't it? I didn't know that, but I was just putting money on it. I was like, I bet it was that. It was the Springfield, and we all know where that went.
Gene was breaking out his books. I had to pull some up here myself.
I've got several. I don't know if you can see behind me. I got a pile of stuff.
Yeah,
I carry this one everywhere. The Constitution. I always have them laying around.
I just happened to. I saw that question pop up, and I see my book right here, and I was like, I can answer that. So,
good deal. So, I don't know where you guys have been at. Do we want to do a quick timeout?
We need to do a double commercial.
All right,
we need to do a double commercial with our sponsors real quick, and I've got something new I'm trying here real quick for you, Clay. So let me hit this first, and then I'll hit the double spots for us. Let's see if this works.
Having a bad day, just remember, there's somebody out there pulling a door that says push. Fucking dumbasses.
Repair located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers. We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload. It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns. Double H Guns. 1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right, then we are back.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey. Walk around thinking I'm a prints like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in. Know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, can cop my Speedo. Head to the top, bottom line is...
Sorry, I got too much time on my hands.
Mike has been playing around evidently at work.
Yeah, let's not tell my boss that. I've been doing that while I'm on my phone while I'm at work.
There you go. Perfect. You know what? You got to kill the time somehow, right?
I know. I can't give him all my time. Come on.
I see Corey had to bug out. He's a fireman. He's a volunteer fireman over there in Lemon, and it is fire drill night. So, yeah, he's going to be going over there and getting all educated so he can go out there and save everybody. So,
y'all be safe out there, guys. Appreciate y'all.
You know, we got some moisture out here, but it won't be long. A couple days of this wind, we'll be back in the fire danger. I have no doubt. So, be real careful while you're out there. No kidding.
We've seen how fast some fires can spread in that wind.
And he's the only one that actually has a flamethrower, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I have one too.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe I don't know if he picked it up yet. I got it to town for him, but hopefully he got that picked up. So
yeah, I'm sure he will.
We'll have to do another one of them. We'll have to see.
We'll have to figure out something. Hey, a real question for Gene. Talking about, especially when you get into some of the older stuff, some of the oddball things and the more classic guns, you can fall down the rabbit hole going on the web, of course, looking for stuff all the time, and you can't always trust everybody. But who's your go-to when you want to find something like ammo or something for something a little odd?
Ammo, kind of tough because I'll admit, usually if I buy a rifle, the second purchase, and sometimes it'll leave with me, will be the dies,
right?
For that rifle. I'll catch graphs on occasion. They'll have some oddball stuff. Gun shows is my main go-to.
Yeah, that's still mine too.
Find that stuff at gun shows, but actually Graphs and Sons, I think, they'll have a lot of that oddball stuff. I'm trying to rack my brain here.
I think we got the answer.
Yeah, we got the answer.
Sarah, she says I'm his go-to.
Gene, is Sarah there? I think she needs to come join the show.
I don't know where she's at. She's probably in Vermilion right now. That's my shooting daughter. I'm getting ready to haul her out to DC here next month. So.
Right. So you get to go to the land of the most restrictions ever on your Second Amendment.
It's funny.
Be the most free.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have an enhanced carry. Yep. And so I looked at I'm going through these states to see what their laws all say. I think I'm good all the way to DC.
Yeah, probably are. I mean, we've been down a lot of trips ourselves, haven't we, Vance? But I think we pretty much ignored. We really didn't care.
Concealed carry.
Yeah. I remember walking. We went across the tip of Illinois completely illegal just because.
I don't even think we need to mention how many guns we had when we did.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that was that first hog trip, and we all were carrying. Well, we walked into that gas station to fill up and take a break, and I tell you what, that was the safest place probably in Illinois at that moment because we were all gunning pretty hard.
Okay. Your daughter says, you can't even carry a taser. I mean, that's the thing. It was like, you can't protect yourself.
I think that is because I'm looking into all this. I ordered her a stun gun and some pepper spray and things like that. But I think the taser part is, it actually shoots out. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
most of the places you go to in DC, you can't even take your pocket knife in with you.
Nope.
It's ridiculous. Especially when you go to see some of the, the sites, like Air and Space Museum, or if you go up to Arlington, if you go in any of the buildings, they will not let you take a knife. It's crazy out there. It's supposed to be the capital of the free country, and it's one of the most archaic places there are. Really.
Well, my daughter's in Williamsburg, Virginia, and she's part of the university there at Williams and Mary, and she's in administration for that place. And it's amazing the rules they have that you can't even drive on things onto campus. I mean, it's just.
So Waylon chimed in here. He says the old Western Scrounger on the web used to be really good for oddball ammo. So it probably
There you
is. I haven't never been able to check that out.
Now that he mentioned that, I have.
What was that, Gene?
I said, now that he mentioned that, I have bought a few things from there.
There you go.
Waylon, I tell you what, maybe that's the guy to go to. You ask Waylon, and he'll tell you where to go.
Like I said, I'm kind of lame-o on that stuff because I reload all that stuff 303. I get the dies.
Okay.
Way to go.
So I can build it back to what I want. So
there it is, right there, guys. Old Western Scrounger. So
right there you go.
And no, we're not sponsored by them, but we'll give them a free plug here. And as you can see, they got a ton of stuff on there. So new arrivals. It looks like they deal on about everything. So
yep.
Fine, rare collectibles, closeouts. Trying to just look at some of the other stuff they got.
Closeouts. Speaking my name.
So that is Old Western Scrounger.
I haven't looked for the oddball stuff, but I've used bulkammo.com. When I get home and I drive in the driveway and there's a box in front of the garage that says certain calibers or something on it, I know my son's been online, which I like.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Mike, let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just say, let me clarify. You say oddball. So are we talking like 303 British, or are we talking like 43 Spanish?
The 303 British, but even the 8mm Mauser is not an easy one. I mean, if you got I've got the dies for it, but I don't have the reloading here for it. So I mean, I got a friend of mine that can put that together. But it's just one of those things where it's like that there are certain rounds that are it's just harder to get. We know how that is, and so it's good to know friends. Good to know friends that do it. So, hey, Clay,
what's that?
We should probably. Oh, the boss is talking.
Yeah, guess what I gotta go do, guys?
You gotta go do another cow. All right.
I do. It's been. You know what? I'm glad because we had this front
thing.
going through. It's a good thing we get done earlier, but. Yeah, it does not have any respect for the Guns and 701 show.
That's all right. That's all right.
So
before
I do go, I got to share one more thing, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right here, I just did a quick search and found another one, collectible, antique, and obsolete ammunition in original boxes. And that's at rtgammo.com. So there's another one right there.
All right. Yeah.
So something to check out. All right, with that, guys, I guess I'm going to sign out again. I just thought I'd jump in here when we got back in. But
all right, buddy. Tell Danelle and the boys we said hey.
I will do that. Gene, if I don't see you, thanks for coming on, and I wish I could have been here longer. But
sure, no problem.
Don't forget, guys, I know I'm going to be joining. I think you're going to as well, Mike. I'm not quite sure who's all going to be on there, but Drinks with the 701 on Friday night. So
yep, we're going to be coming in. I'll be coming in hot a little late, but I will be coming in. So we'll get that.
Are you joining us, Vance, on that one or not?
I can.
I mean, I think we can put like 15 spots on there if we want. So, anyway, thanks again, Gene, and I'll probably talk to you soon. Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't drink, but that's my collection back there.
There we go.
I noticed that back there. Yeah.
All right, guys. Catch you later.
See you, man.
Thank you, Clay. Well, gunsinthe701.com. Of course, we've got our great sponsors. We've been talking about, of course, Double H Guns, and also, of course, Axel and the gang right there at LAUER Auto Repair. Hey, we've got a new segment, Gene. I don't know if you have caught it yet in the last couple of weeks, but the Badass of the Week. And we try to come up with somebody different each week that doesn't get talked about a lot.
They get tired of putting me on there.
I know. Well, you're on every week, so that's just Badass of the Day. There you go. But I'll play this. Of course, this is Charles J. French, and he was actually a cook on one of the ships back in the day of World War II. And I've got a little 5-minute story for him. So if you guys want to take a quick break, I will play this, and we'll be right back. It's gunsinthe701.com with our Badass of the Week.
Bring it on.
Excellent.
It's GunsInThe701.com's weekly edition of the Badass of the Week. This week, we go back to World War II once again with Charles Jackson French. Born September 25th, 1919, he was an orphan from Foreman, Arkansas. Swim in the Red River at the age of 8. First enlisting in the Navy in 1937, he completed his enlistment in 1941 as a mess attendant, 3rd class, and moved to Omaha, Nebraska, where he lived with his older sister. When the attack on Pearl Harbor happened, French went to the closest recruitment office, and on December 19, 1941, re-enlisted in the Navy. Now, while serving, after French's ship, the high-speed transport USS Gregory, was sunk by gunfire from an Imperial Japanese Navy ship in the Solomon Islands on the morning of September 5, 1942. The mess attendant, 2nd class, swam 6 to 8 hours in shark-infested waters near Guadalcanal, all while towing a life raft with 15 survivors aboard, dragging them out of range of Japanese gunfire and possible capture, which would likely have meant execution. Swimming until sunrise, French and the 15 sailors on the raft that he was towing were spotted by a scout aircraft. The pilot dispatched a Marine landing craft to pick them up. French was one of 6 sailors who swam through the night and up to 8 hours, rescuing all but 11 members of Gregory's crew. Now, French was recommended for the Navy Cross, but instead received only a form letter of commendation from Admiral William F. Halsey Jr. in May of 1943. Now, Admiral Halsey was then commander of the South Pacific Fleet. The commendation stated, for meritorious conduct and action while serving on board of a destroyer transport which was badly damaged during the engagement with the Japanese forces in the British Solomon Islands on September 5, 1942. Now, the survivors felt that French deserved a higher tribute, possibly a congressional medal, or at least a Silver Star. But the Gregory episode was complicated by the insurance of posthumous Silver Stars to Lieutenant CDR F. Bauer, the ship's commander. Wounded and dying, the skipper ordered 2 companions to leave him and go on to aid other crewmen who were yelling for help. He was never seen again. By Navy standards, it would be nearly unprecedented for a subordinate to receive a higher decoration for an act of heroism comparable to that of a superior, which is some bullcrap. And noted on History.com, you can see that 1.2 million African Americans who served in World War II fought for democracy overseas while being treated as second-class citizens by their own country. French was memorialized on a war gum trading card and in a comic strip. The Chicago Defender named him Hero of the Year. Now, French was discharged as a Stuart Mate's First Class on March 9th, 1945. After the war, he married and had 1 daughter. Suffering from alcoholism, most likely caused by post-traumatic stress disorder, French died on November 11, 1956 at the age of 37. He was buried at Fort Rosicrucian National Cemetery in San Diego, California. And what should have happened long ago, in 2022, French was posthumously awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Medal for heroic actions not involving direct contact with an Army enemy. Dragging soldiers through shark-infested waters with a rope tied to you for 8 hours. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The award was presented on May 21st, 2022 at Naval Base San Diego at a ceremony in which the base's rescue swimmer training pool was dedicated in French's honor. On the 10th of January of 2024, the U.S. Secretary of the Navy, Carlos del Toro, announced a new Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, the DD-142, will be named the U.S. Charles J. French in his honor. It's all a little too late, but you know what? You got to admit, if you wanted anybody next to you on a ship, in a foxhole, anywhere that was going to have your back, it would be him. We are talking about Charles Jackson French, a true badass. We appreciate you listening to the Badass of the Week on GunsInThe701.com. We're going to try to do this for you every week and give you new people and some cool information. If you got time to go to GunsInThe701.com and check out some of our stuff in the store, t-shirts, or maybe some of our assault tumblers, whatever you see there, please pick up a few things, help us out a little bit. And on the site as well, you can see the QR code that you can always donate a little money, whatever you got, whatever you want to spare, to help us out as we buy up new equipment and improve our studios and do more stuff on GunsInThe701.com. Hey, this has been Badass of the Week on GunsInThe701.com. I'm Mike, and as Clay always says, keep your powder dry.
All righty, back to GunsInThe701.com. I muted everybody there real quick. Sorry about that because I'm learning the machinery. But what you guys think about the Badass of the Week this week?
That's a good segment, man. I really enjoy that. That was a good one too.
I like them. I like them.
I like it a lot. Yeah,
I love I'm a history buff. I love history and war history, and then when you see them heroes that you don't necessarily read about in the history books, real common like. I really enjoy that. That was a good segment.
I got one that but you just didn't know how badass he was. Besides the normal stuff, but Chuck Yeager next week is what I'm working on right now. So nice. I did not realize that all the battles that he was in, not only in World War II, but all the planes that he flew in Korea, or actually I should say not in Korea, in Vietnam and everything. I mean, he's been nonstop all the way up and to his later years. Just an absolute badass, and got some good stuff on him coming up, hopefully next week.
He was 80-something years old. He punched a photographer for getting too close to his family.
Yeah, well, that's the guy. Yeah, he was a badass too. But I'm working on that. I've got some others working. I got a couple of badass women I'm working on as well. So as I get a chance to get it all edited up, I'm glad you guys all like it. We're gonna post that again on our social medias tomorrow. We'll put that out there, so it'll be its own separate thing. But we do appreciate that, and so I try to do my very best. And like I said, I think I got to get Gene to do it. Gene, if you can put your finger up toward that little what do they call those things? The barcode up there. We try to point up to the barcode.
Oh, here.
There you go. There you go, Gene. Thank you very much, Gene. So if you guys want to go to that, you can always go and, of course, check out some of our merch and also do a little money for us if you like the show and pass the word around so that we can get everybody going, and that'll be pretty good. I got a thing from Jamie, the time that Chuck Yeager hunted Wyoming antelope from a fighter plane. I got that good story. I didn't even have that one, so I might have to add that to it. So good thing I'm still editing. Oh, he sent me the story, too. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to like that. So
I got my one of my I think both my boys are on here tonight. John Boy was on earlier. Clifford's on here. He's kind of a gun nerd. Lafayette Greenpool. I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you think
Lafayette Greenpool? I'll have to look him up because that's what I'm doing. I'm always looking for somebody different.
He's a history buff and he keeps up with old guns and all kinds of stuff. He'll be saying stuff to me, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to have to look that up.
And it sounds like a lot of these guys got up that day, didn't know they were going to be a badass of the week. It just,
absolutely,
the situation thrust upon them,
I've read some stories about Audie Murphy that are just incredible. I mean, all 5'3" of that guy was straight up tough.
I got one American girl that I, back in the turn of the century of the 1800s to the 1900s, who she was a fencer and a broadsword expert and self-taught and defeated 300 of the best men in the world with the broadsword. And she had the scars to prove it too. So even though they were all blunted weapons and everything, she still had plenty of scars, but led a pretty strong life. I forget, she was nicknamed La Jaguaria or something like that. So I got like I said, I'm always working on stuff for people and trying to come up with some cool stuff. So we'll have another episode coming up next week, and you can always check out the back issues as well on our social media sites here at Guns in the 701. Gene, as we've been talking about the guns and more throughout the day, of course, Here is who War Daddy from the movie Furry. Oh yeah.
Fury.
Fury is a good one. Did I say Furry? That's a totally different movie. I think that'd be totally different. Sorry for the kids out there. But that was a good movie too. But yeah, I love that one. Love the tank movies. I mean, tank movies are always good. We were talking about who were we last week? We were talking about the one-eyed ghost. Leo Major. Yeah, the one-eyed guy who took on the tanks and everything else, and just said he only needed one eye to sight in his gun. So that's all he needed. So couldn't even kick him out.
What an optimist.
About that, of course, we're talking about rifles and hunting and everything, and what you're comfortable with. What's your opinion on the scopes? Do you think the iron sights is something that should be stressed a little more toward when your kids are younger, or do you think that scopes are a bit of a crutch, or do you think it's actually a good thing?
Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your kid's comfortable with. When my daughter Sarah, if she's still listening, maybe she could chime in. I took her down to the range. She got her first mentored tag. She was about 10 or 11 years old.
Right.
Let her try some scopes. Let her try some iron sights. Let her try, a little bit of everything. First time we went hunting, we went with iron sights. She shot her first deer. Okay, you ready for this? She shot her first deer with an SKS.
Yeah.
Shot a doe. And then just this last year, she shot a deer with it's a 6.5 Swede. It's a bolt action. Used a scope. So.
Right.
Whatever they're comfortable with.
We're all clicking on the button. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Yeah, she hates the scopes. There you go. Iron sights. That's what she likes. But you know what? That's the thing. We talk about it is that you train yourself. The more you do it, the better you are. The more comfortable you are with the weapon. And then of course, if you're good at iron sights, like I said, in a wooded area, I'm perfectly fine doing iron sights on my 30-30 and stuff like that. But what's JD got a question for you here? What's the best ball reloading powder for a 30-30 muzzle velocity, 125 grain bullets?
Oh boy, I've never loaded a 125 grain. My 30-30 powder, I've always used IMR 30-31. I don't know if that'll work at 125 grain or not. That's just what I used. So,
right.
Maybe a little 48.95 ish. So, but hey, if you guys want to continue the show, I'll consult.
That's fine. You consult real quick. We'll look at some of the other things Sarah's got saying here. We got Sarah typing in. I think I'm too short for a scope. I can never see out of them. There you go. We also got. Let's see who we got here. We got. Cliff, of course, both subjects together. Simo Haya is one of the best snipers ever, and he was only shot with iron. So that's a good one to do. I'm going to check him out. So that'd be a good one, yeah. So that'd be pretty good. That's and that's the thing. It's like it's amazing. I think that some of us are naturally predestined to have those natural abilities that some people have. Some of us have to work harder at it, and some of us just have that natural ability to be able. Like I said, I don't think my eyes have ever been very good. I've had glasses since I was in second grade. Since I've been hunting, I remember when I had those transition glasses, it would mess with going from up and down for the scope and everything else. It was just, it's just terrible. So, I think I finally got a pair of glasses and a prescription that actually works for me and everything. I think that, once you learn to work with what you got, that's fine. But some people are just naturals. Some people are just unbelievable naturals. And I'm happy to know a lot of those people. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of great people that listen to the show here, as a matter of fact, and up here in 701 that have taught me a lot of things about rifles and pistols and other stuff. And that's why I listen. That's why I pay attention. So it's good to have these conversations once in a while as well. So I do appreciate that. Age helps determine iron, red dot, or scope. And actually,
how old is Sarah? She shoots iron.
Yeah.
How old is Sarah, Gene?
Sarah is 19, be 20. So,
And she's shooting iron.
Yep. So it's whatever she likes. Like I said, I give them all the options. You want to go hunting, you shoot what you want to shoot. What you're comfortable with. Right now, like I said, she likes my 6.5 Swede. It's a commercial built hunting rifle, but yeah, she kind of likes that one. It's 243 on steroids is what it is.
Okay.
Ballistically, it's an old Swedish military, but it's efficient. It works, and yeah, she likes it. So go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, go with what you know, and go with what you like. If you don't like a gun, I mean, that determines a ton right there. I mean, I love the concept. I was listening to Jamie and Scott talking the other night about the 4570. Love the concept of it and how much power it has and what a good gun it is. But with my bad shoulder, it just tears me up. And, I just, so I stay away from stuff. So 243 usually is what I'm sticking with. But yeah, it's like I said, you go with what you know and what you like. If you don't like it, you're not going to have any fun shooting anyway.
And like what Gene said earlier, practice. Be proficient with your firearm, whatever it is.
To your 4570, if you go buy a factory load for that 4570, yeah, it's gonna punish you. You reload. I always turn back to the trapdoor data. That's your old school 1873. That's not as punishing. And then like what Vance reiterated, practice.
Right. Yeah.
So
let's see what we got here from JD again. We've got the
man. You're 50. Old,
JD. He's young still. That's right. Starting like a green dot sights a lot. Also, we had Cliff looking in here. What did Cliff have to say real quick? It says opinions on the 223 Wild. Do you have anything on that, Gene?
I've never heard of it. So
never heard of it either. So I wish I was as good as Clay as I could look it up real quick. But yeah,
I've heard of it, but I'm not real familiar with it. I don't have one. I haven't shot one. That's why I say he's my gun nerd son.
Oh yeah. It's like engines and guns. I go to my son because he's smarter than I am right now. So
with engines, he'll come to me. With guns, I'm going to go to him.
I'm going to call that Wildcat. I'm not very familiar with any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that at all. But that's fine. We'll learn more about it. We'll get some. Let's see. 223 Wild is God's chamber. That's what he says. So
apparently, JD's familiar with it.
JD's pretty good with it there.
JD, we're going to need to see a video on that. We're going to need to see a review.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're going to take one more quick break here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into the finals of the show, and we'll be back in just a second. Of course, we're sitting here with gunsandthe701.com, and we'll be back right after this.
Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Gunsandthe701.com. Clay is out calving, and once again, working on his 8th calf for today. We've got Vance here with us, and Gene Cox once again back in the studio as we're working on seeing what's going on with everything. Of course, we've got a lot of good chats coming up tonight, some good questions, and some I don't know. Of course, we're talking about Waylon had a little answer. Of course, I should have known Waylon would know. Waylon says the wide chamber you can use in 223 or 5.56. So you can use it for your AR, is what you're saying, for most of your ARs, correct?
Okay.
Probably.
All right. There you go.
Sounds like.
I don't own an AR, so I'm not that I'm opposed to them. I just don't have one. Yeah.
Does it interest you, or is it just something that you've never really wanted to pull the trigger in? It's just because you're just like, or it's just one of those things.
I have to be. I'm sorry. Here, I'm sending a quick text. All right, I'll be back with you. Okay, now here I am.
Fine.
No, I have to be going down the road and just have the epiphany of, you need this, and I just haven't had it yet. I was in the National Guard, Fort Sill. We had M16s, which, that's a little bit older than the new stuff they have now. So,
right.
If I were to buy one, I'd probably go try to find one of those old fixed stock, the M16s. So, I see that. Yeah.
What's that?
Waylon's just taking a shot at Gene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying now. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Un-American, yeah.
There you go. Anyway.
Well, I'll just go buy one. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. Well, now we talked you into it.
Now you have an excuse to buy a gun. Waylon shamed you into it.
$250 conversion kit for the AR, for your AR to I go back to, I need to get them on here as sponsors. Boyd's Gun Stock. They've got that conversion kit for your AR to put it to wood. And man, it looks good. Now, and I think some people are like, I don't know if I like that, but man, I'll tell you what, it looks pretty. To me, it looks like when you.
I have mixed feelings about that one. Yeah.
You got mixed feelings? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it does look kind of cool, but I'm the type of guy that I like a traditional wood stock on certain firearms. To me, an AR is a synthetic stock gun. I don't know. I just can't. I have a hard time separating the two. Recently, my son Clifford was showing me some the tactical 30-30s.
Right.
I'm not a fan. It's just, to me,
you gotta be into it.
Yeah. I'm just not into it. And I got nothing against them, to each their own. I mean, if anything that gets people into shooting and outdoors and things like that, that's great. It's just not my thing. Like I said, I got nothing against it. It's just not me.
Well, it's like with me, take things like the SKSs, there's tons of those. Remember when those were everywhere back in the 90s and the early aughts. SKSs were everywhere, but I'll tell you what, I didn't really care for them. But when you got to be like on the AKs, like the Hungarian, ones with that they had that particular wood patina. They had that particular look. There was this little style difference, other than the Chinese versions and whatnot. There are some out there that really just kind of stand out to me. And like I said, unless I find one of those, I don't really go for the AKs much at all. Actually, was it Century Arms that came out with the synthetic AK a few years ago that we used to have at the gun shows or at the NRA banquets? Yeah, and I said, I actually was interested in those for a little bit. It'd be interesting to own, but like I said, I'm getting to that point, and I guess at an age as well, where I'm kind of wanting to kind of tool away from the synthetic. I'm just not like, maybe someday I'm going to pass all my guns down to my kids, and that's fine. But I wanted them to all stand out a little bit. I want them to pass down something decent, and I just. Like I said, for the ARs, I love that conversion kit. If you ever get a chance to look at it online at Boyd's Gun Stocks, it is just a super. It makes the gun just look so. It kind of reminds me of that really cool look that you get when you get a nice looking Thompson. The Thompson when they get a nice wood grain on a Thompson. Yeah, it's just a beautiful gun. And I think it actually kind of works out with that. But let's see.
All I heard through that whole thing, Mike, was just I'm old.
Yeah, well, I know I'm old, but here, I gotta share this one with you guys. Did I lose it here real quick? But I think I did. I see. Oh, there you go. This one I got it. Just waiting to inherit. Gene's 38 sub. There you go.
Do you know which one she's talking about, Gene?
Yeah, that's Sarah. She's another one of those epiphanies, we're talking about. It's a 1911. It's Para made it. So it's a 1911.
Right.
It's polished stainless steel, and it's in 38 Super.
Okay.
I bought it just that looks cool. Think I gotta have one. So yeah, it was an impulse. So maybe Waylon's trying to guilt me into it, but maybe I'll get an impulse and get an AR.
I think Waylon was carrying a 38 Super when we were in Florida hog hunting. I'm pretty sure that's
a
what
possibility.
Okay. Yeah.
What else we got in here before we run out of time? Gene, a company is now making a bolt action AR. I'm interested.
Well, get a couple of them.
Q Firearms. Is that Q, JD? Q Firearms? I think they're out of Vermont or Maine.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept right there. Well, hey, I'm willing to try anything, especially if he's buying for Christmas. So, replying to JD, we've got replying to JD Smith. I've seen these, and usually they're in higher calibers. Cliff said that. So, and then Cliff said,
Cliff's got a lot to say tonight.
Cliff's got a lot to say here. Why not just put him on the show? I'm giving his own camera. I mean, there's a JJFU AR with wood stocks, and they are really nice. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're running out of time a little bit here real quick, Gene. Of course, but I want to remind everybody about 701 Nation coming up on Friday. And if I am correct, that will be 7 o'clock. I hope I'm not wrong on this. 7 o'clock Mountain Time, I do believe. I'm not absolutely sure, but we're going to have drinks with the 701, and we're hoping everybody will tune in for that one. Well, we might have to break out some of Gene's back shelf over there and see what's going on over there.
Well, I'll just meet at Gene's house.
Yeah, meet at Gene's house.
That's
we're at the mayor's house. We're speaking. That's for the auction.
Well,
but I've got myself some rye beer. Ooh. I got myself some rye beer for that night, so I'm looking forward. To it. I don't drink as much as I used to anymore, but it says Waylon did say that he did carry that super in.
It went to 38. It was 30.
There we go.
That's right.
Drinks with the 701 Friday, 8 p.m. Central. So that would be what? Was I right? Was it 7 Mountain? No. Yeah, that'd be right, wouldn't it? No, it's the other way around.
Yeah, they're slower.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That's right. They're slower.
7 Mountain.
There.
So there we go. So that's, of course, Drinks with the 701. I hope you guys all join us right here. Of course, we're going to be having that part of the gunsinthE701.com. I'm always trying to find out where everything is here. Got to click the buttons before. Almost told Gene Skeleton had vodka in high school. You can't tell on yourself now just because you're 20.
I had another skeleton head up on the counter.
Is she telling on herself?
Yeah, she shouldn't do that.
I think so.
Wait till the statute of limitations is up.
Yeah.
The statute of limitations got to end up on that one. But anyway, so we're about running out of time here real quick. Yeah. Remember, everybody, of course, we do appreciate Gene coming on, talking to us about guns and whatnot. Of course, I know he's a busy man and he's got stuff going on, but we do appreciate it. You always tune into the show as well. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to gunsinthE701.com. 701 Nation coming up this Friday. Drinks with the 701. And don't forget that little donation button that you see up there on that barcode. You can scan that if you want to go ahead. Yeah, it's that way. Yeah. And you can scan that if you want to drop us some coins, because we always need to get new equipment. I'm always working on stuff. My room is getting better, but if my wife flushes the toilet upstairs, it's pretty bad. Ooh, what is that? Couldn't see what that was. Anyway, but we've got a lot going on, and we do appreciate it. Of course, we thank everybody for tuning in. Guys, we will see you all later on. And as always, of course, I think Clay ends the show with keep your powder dry. So we'll do the same this time. And Vance, you want to take us out with a prayer real quick?
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunities you've given us in this still great country. And Lord, we just ask that you guide the hearts of our representatives in Washington, D.C. and around this nation. We ask that you continue to protect our soldiers abroad and stateside. And Lord, we just ask that you continue to bless us with this show and bring us knowledge and bring those knowledge to those that tune in to us, Lord. We love you and we thank you for all that you've blessed us with. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. See you guys next week.